Gabdos online radio and television movie. Online radio and television.
Hello, listener, and welcome to Gabdos Online Radio and TV Movie News. First, the headlines. The transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced a planned power outage across several states in the northeast due to ongoing construction work at the Bauchi 330 kilowatt substation. The National Health Commission of Nigeria, NACON, says it has treated over 15 acute psychiatric patients, three miscarriage cases, among others, in the just concluded Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. 96 houses burned down in Plateau State community. The federal government has released the official program of events for the 2025 Democracy Day celebration scheduled for Thursday, June 12. On sports, the new look FIFA Club World Cup kicks off in the United States this weekend with 2 teams from around the globe taking part. On the international scene, Elon Musk apologized for harsh comments on Donald Trump. Now the news in details. The transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced a planned power outage across several states in the northeast due to ongoing construction work at the Bauchi 330 kilowatt substation. In a letter signed by TCN Regional Operation Manager, Bauchi Region, Engineer Jai Joseph, the company stated that the outage would last from 10 a.m. on June 10 to 5 p.m. on June 14, 2025. The planned outage is to enable contractors to erect 330 kilowatt turn-in and turn-out transmission towers as part of the development of the new Bauchi 330 kilowatt substation. The project will also involve the crossing of the existing Bauchi-Jos Gombe 232 kilowatt transmission line, which will be shut down temporarily. According to the notice, the outage will affect the Jos Gombe single circuit line throughout the 5-day period. This development means Damaturu, Molai, Yola, and Jalingo will be completely without electricity supply during the work. Meanwhile, Gombe and Biu substation will partially power through the Dadinkoa hydropower plant, and Baga Road substation will receive supply from MEP. The Jos Bauchi Gombe 132 kilowatt line will be taken out specially on June 14 to facilitate the final crossing of the line. The National Health Commission of Nigeria, NACON, says it has treated over 15 acute psychiatric patients, 3 miscarriage cases, among others, in the just concluded Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. Head of the NACON medical team, Dr. Sani Garba, disclosed this during the post-Hajj review meeting in Mecca on Tuesday. Garba noted that the greatest challenge faced by the team was the access to the antipsychotic drugs in Saudi Arabia. He revealed that the commission also recorded at least 4 pregnancy and pregnancy-related cases during the spiritual journey. Dr. Garba further explained that his team renders services under 4 major departments: consultation, emergency, reference services, infection, and prevention under public education. On the emergency reference services, Garba said it constituted 14 doctors, 18 nurses, and 8 pharmacists that deliver service to pilgrims in Mishar. 96 houses burned down in Plateau community. At least 96 were raised in Gabdos community, Langai district of Mangu local government area of Plateau State on Monday in a clash. Residents alleged that perpetrators looted food, mattresses, cattle, and other valuables. Alhaji Yakubu Umar, traditional ruler, and Madugun Langai disclosed this to newsmen on Tuesday in Jos, stating that apart from the 2 people killed on Monday, 1 other body was recovered on Tuesday, bringing the death toll to 3. The community accused the Berom ethnic group of launching the attack, which they denied. The traditional ruler called on the government to investigate those behind the act and bring them to book, urging the state government to provide aid to those who have lost their properties. Meanwhile, the leadership of Berom Youth Mothers Association has denied launching the attack, describing the allegation as false. Security forces have been conducting operations to counter armed groups in Lagan, Pan local government area. Troops Troops successfully ambushed and killed 3 suspected bandits, recovering weapons and ammunition. The federal government has released the official program of events for the 2025 Democracy Day celebration scheduled for Thursday, 12 June. According to a statement by the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Democracy Day, this year's celebration will begin with a national broadcast by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by 7 o'clock a.m. The president's address is expected to highlight the progress of the nation's democracy journey, ongoing reforms under the Renew Hope agenda, and the government commitment to sustaining democratic value. The statement, which was signed by Abdul Karim Adeole on behalf of the Director of Information and Public Relations on Wednesday, also said there will be no ceremonial parade this year. However, the celebration will include 2 key engagements by the President. At 12 noon, President Tinubu is scheduled to attend a joint session of the National Assembly at the National Assembly Complex. This year's Democracy Day holds added significance as it marks the second such celebration under President Tinubu's administration and comes amid renewed national conversation on democracy reform, constitutional amendment, and efforts to deepen national unity. Democracy Day, officially marked on June 12 each year, commemorates the historic 1993 presidential election, widely regarded as the fairest and fairest in Nigerian history. The election, presumed to have been won by the late Chief MKO Abiola, was annulled by the military regime, triggering years of civil agitation that ultimately culminated in the restoration of democratic rule in 1999. On sport, the new look FIFA Club World Cup kicks off in the United States this weekend with 32 teams from around the globe taking part. With 12 representatives, Europe is sending more teams than any other continent, followed by South America with 6. Asia and Africa both have 4 competing teams, as does the CONCACAF region of North and Central America on the Caribbean. In addition, there is 1 club from Oceania, which the lineup is completed by a representative from the host nation. There are 2 ways of qualifying for the tournament, which Football World Governing Body now intends to stretch every 4 years, either as continental champions or via club ranking based on performances in continental competition over a 4-year period. On the international scene, Elon Musk apologized for harsh comment on Donald Trump. Billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk has apologized following his fierce criticism of U.S. President Donald Trump and his administration, acknowledging that his remarks crossed the line. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, on Wednesday morning, Musk expressed regret over the statement made the previous week. The apology comes after a highly publicized online feud between Musk and Trump, which erupted over a controversial government spending bill championed by the president. The dispute quickly escalated across social media platforms, sparking political and financial tremors. During the clash, Musk, who recently stepped down as head of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, slapped Trump's tax and spending legislation, calling it a disgusting abomination on X. The bill, a key part of Trump's second-term policy agenda, is projected by the Congressional Budget Office to add $2.4 trillion to the federal deficit over the next decade and potentially strip health coverage from 11 million Americans. Musk, a longtime advocate of fiscal responsibility, claimed that the legislation treating the very cost-saving principles he upheld during the time at DOGE. In response, Trump lashed out on Trump's social accusing Musk of wearing thin and alleging that he had personally requested the billionaire's resignation from his advisory post. That's the size of the bulletin.
But before I go, a recap of the major stories.
That's the size of the bulletin, but before I go, here's the recap of the major stories. We heard that the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, has announced a planned power outage across several states in Northeast due to ongoing construction work at the Bauchi 330 kilowatt substation. We also bring you that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NACON say it has treated over 15 acute psychiatric patients, 3 miscarriage cases, among others, in the just concluded Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. We also heard that 96 houses burned down in Plateau community. We also bring you that the federal government has released the official program of event for the 2025 Democracy Day celebration scheduled for Thursday, June 12th. You also had that on sport, the new Low FIFA Club World Cup kicks off in United States this weekend with 32 teams from around the globe taking part.
Online radio and television, movie